Okay, live. We're back at it, and we'll get into more about what happened this week in baseball. But we wanted to jump off first of all with Hall of Fame because both of our teams were represented there, and two very important guys to both of our organizations. So, Crystal, do you want to jump in and talk a little bit about what Minnie meant to you?
Yes. So I write about Minnie all the time. Like I wrote about him today, even, and just the impact that he has had because he was African American. He was also Cuban, so he helped with that color barrier. He was one of the first guys to really have to go through it. He was constantly hit intentionally. He was tormented. They were throwing trash at him. He couldn't even stay at their team's hotels when he was playing.
Ridiculous.
I mean, he went through the worst of it. He went through so much racism and just persevered somehow. He walked off with a smile no matter what. And he helped the White Sox have this big Cuban pipeline.
Yes.
Even to this day, we've got Jose Abreu who looked up to Minnie. We have Luis Robert. We have all of these players from present, past, everything else, and he deserved it while he was alive.
Yeah.
To this day, I'm still disappointed that he wasn't able to get that, and the Hall of Fame just kind of dragged ass.
Yeah, it's awful for some guys.
I mean, I guess better late than never. I'm ecstatic that he made it. His wife's speech was just beautiful. I have trouble crying, and I cried during that speech.
Oh, it was a great speech because you could tell how much it meant to her, but you could tell through what she was saying how much it meant to him. Yeah. And how it was unfortunate, but that at least she could be there to represent him. We had a lot of guys being represented by people in their families because a few of these people had passed on. And great, or even Dave Winfield actually went up there and did a speech as well. So it's you had players or family just representing these people that did so much for the sport because a lot of them were from the Negro Leagues.
Yeah.
And it's impressive what these speeches were.
Yeah, he was considered the Latino Jackie Robinson, and the two of them together just helped mold baseball into what it is now, where it is more than just a bunch of white guys playing. You have the Latino community, you have African Americans finally playing and being the heroes and having young kids have someone to look up to. So, my kid is obsessed with Tim Anderson, and without somebody like Jackie Robinson, we might not have a Tim Anderson in baseball today. So just, it was wonderful. And apparently I only get emotional about baseball.
Hey, I get totally emotional about baseball, so I feel it. And yeah, and we have a comment, Louis Tiant getting a shout out as needing to be the next. Yeah, and that would be great because he's getting older too, and he would give a hell of a speech if he was given the chance. It was great. I actually had a chance to meet Minnie. I did a baseball cruise, which was really great. Actually met Tony Oliva as well. And Minnie told me that I threw really well. So I'll take that to my grave. I'll be like, if I can do anything in life, Minnie, Hall of Famer, Minnie Minoso said that I could throw a baseball really well. So that's all the validation I need in life.
Exactly. That's all you need throughout life. That's probably the best compliment you could receive.
It was a great one. It was a great one. So yeah, Minnie went in for the White Sox, which was fantastic. And then on the Red Sox side, David Ortiz, first ballot Hall of Famer. So you just have the opposites of somebody who played for as long as he did, played well, and gave so much to the sport, and how long it took for him to get in. And then you have David Ortiz going in on, his first ballot and being under 50 years old. It's great to see how the sport has evolved, and we do realize the greatness, and not only just the greatness of who David Ortiz is as a player, but who he is as an ambassador for the Dominican Republic.
Yes.
Like, he even did a shout out. He's like, hey, people, like, you want to hang out? Come to the Dominican Republic. Like, we'd love to have you. Like, it was great. It's just like, he does his own little ads for the Dominican Republic. Like, come hang out. Like, he gets parodied on SNL and he loves it. Like, that's just this kind of person. And they were talking about, what he does on Fox, like during the All-Star game, he was in the dugout. He was telling Alec Manoah, like, I'm going to take you deep. Like, don't worry, he probably could take him deep to this day, So it's great to see somebody like that, and somebody who meant so much to, the city of Boston, and the city of Boston being, unfortunately having this very racist past, present, hopefully not future. But then how we embraced somebody that isn't white. There's a bridge named after David Ortiz. There's David Ortiz Bridge. It's the bridge that you take to get over into Fenway. So just seeing like a larger than life personality just accept this city and the city accept him is so beautiful. And he talked about that, especially, the marathon and, how that affected everybody in that clubhouse, and it carried them to a World Series, because truly that team, if you really look at it on paper, I kind of giggle at like, this team had no business winning the World Series. This is hilarious. But maybe there were truly some higher powers, whether you believe in things or you're spiritual or whatever. It's like maybe there was something that truly played into that team winning that year.
And he's just I don't care what team you root for, he is really hard to just not love.
Oh, he's a delight. And A-Rod even showed up for him. And A-Rod, who's the Hall of Fame hates, and he probably hates the Hall of Fame, because he had never been there. And he needed to make sure that he was, there for David Ortiz. And that's great, because, like, I've never been the biggest fan of A-Rod, but, like, he's always shown to be a good supporter of David Ortiz, and David Ortiz always was a big supporter of him. So I loved the respect of showing up for, your fellow, brother, really. Like, there's a big brotherhood in baseball, whether or not you're on the Yankees or you're on the Red Sox. And while Alex Rodriguez, I don't think, spent most of his life in the Dominican Republic, he is of Dominican heritage. So they have that connection as well. So it's nice to see somebody like that. John. Oh, and you got a shout out that you're an absolute queen. I agree.
Thank you. I'm not sure who you are, but I appreciate it.
We will accept it.
Yes. We do have really sad news that just, recently broke. Dwight Smith passed away on Friday at age 58.
So
he played on the 1995 World Series winning Braves team. He played for 8 years in total, started with the Cubs, split seasons with the Angels and the Orioles, and then joined the Braves for his final 2 seasons. So obviously incredibly sad and so young. That's really, really young.
Yeah, no, that is devastating that somebody that young can pass on. Yeah. So with that, we do have some fun things that we can talk about. Some just extra all-star stuff. Soto was able to win the home run derby, so like that's fun, and to see how excited he was about winning it, especially after we learned all the bullshit of the Whites, not the White Sox, apologies, the Nationals, the Washington Nationals not chartering a flight for him. And I know people will say like, oh well, they're the lapse of luxury and they're so rich and he could do this. And it's not as if they were going to just charter that flight for like him. Usually that's for like your family and your friends go on it. So it's not as if we're wasting, fuel on just a single person to get there. And also, it's your damn team. It's the one person representing you. It's goddamn Juan Soto, one of the best in this game. And you're not chartering a plane, and then people being like, well, why didn't Boris do it? It's not Boris. Like, I'm not the biggest Boris fan in the world, but why the hell should Scott Boris be chartering a plane for him? It's not Scott Boris that owns the franchise that he plays for and represents. No, it's the Washington Nationals that do that. The same thing happened with the one lone person that Oakland was, and he had to catch a flight with the Astros. The Astros guys were like, oh, yeah, just come on with us. And it's like, I don't know.
Why?
Why are we penny pinching? Do you know how much money these people goddamn make? And you can't charter Juan Soto. But hey, he did end up mashing some pretty nice home runs, even though I do feel that sometimes the home run derby is a little flawed in the fact of like the amount of home runs that you hit kind of should be the person that wins. So really, Juan Soto did. I don't know. I've always found it to sort of be like a flawed system, but it's still great to see Juan Soto win and I also don't like that they get money now. I don't know.
Yeah, the one thing, and I would hope more people do this. I know Pete Alonso gives to charity. He doesn't keep the money.
Good, as it should.
But I don't know about the rest of them, and it is what it is. But give it to charity or something.
Yeah.
But on that news, do you think Kyle Schwarber intentionally choked for Albert Pujols, or do you think he's just overrated?
Okay, so Red Sox fans, because we have a huge power drought, are desperate for Kyle Schwarber and desperate for Hunter Renfroe to be back on this team because both of them are hitting home runs. Schwarber's numbers are down pretty much overall outside of him hitting home. He's not getting on base at the rate that he usually does. So a part of me looks at that and says, wow, we didn't really give him all that money. And some people are going to be like, well, he could have slid into DH role moving forward. Yeah, but there's like so many other things that you can do, especially this offseason or with trades, whatever. I don't think anybody is going to intentionally choke, because if you're going to say somebody was going to intentionally choke, the subsequent people did he face Soto in the round after that or something?
No, he went out first round.
Oh, no. I meant to say, who did Soto face? Did he face Pujols? Because somebody else, well, yeah. So then you're thinking like fellow Dominican person, maybe I'm going to be the one that like, the guy that I looked up to, maybe I'm going to throw it, and he didn't throw it. So I don't think that any of these guys are throwing anything. I think that just like the home run derby is kind of difficult, and you don't have the right person throwing to you and things like that. Unfortunately, you're just not hitting the home runs that you think you can hit out. But yeah. So, I don't really have any problem with Kyle Schwarber not being on the Red Sox. Like, you wanted to go get your bag, go to Philadelphia. You're not going to win a World Series in Philadelphia either, but you're rich.
He's not worth it to me. I think he's always been really overrated.
Yeah. It's fine. It's like he was great down the stretch for the Red Sox. That home run that he absolutely shit upon with Garrett Cole was demolished, and it's beautiful, and oh my God, the crack of the bat, and just a thing of beauty. So I'll always like love things like that. But I don't think that Chaim should have paid him what Dombrowski ended up paying him. So I have really no problem with that at all, truthfully. And of course, our American League dominating 9th in a row. I mean, the National League just cannot win this thing.
No,
it's kind of funny. And even if we're trying to say that like the leagues are going to sort of even out now because, everybody can have a DH. So there's more like, oh, the sluggers are going to go to the NL now too. Yeah, potentially. That's really cool. But I don't know, man. You guys just, NLers, you can't do it. We're superior.
Sorry, we're better. Yeah. This All-Star game, though, also drew a record low for ratings, and this is like the 5th time since 2015. A lot of people are just not watching it, and I mean, I get it, because like you said, the home run derby is not as fun as it used to be. The All-Star game, not as fun as it used to be. And I think a lot of people also just felt like their teams were either cheated, or they had one of like the pitchers or players that suddenly couldn't play and had to be replaced.
Yeah, truthfully, I think the voting is extremely flawed too. And also it was really weird that I guess Brad's here. Should we let him in?
If he wants to. Oh,
I don't
know.
You said no. Okay, then we won't let him in.
No.
I was like, we'll let him in. He's just spying on us now. No, it's fine. Yeah, so it's just like I always felt that sort of like a flawed overall like voting system, truthfully. Like the best players aren't necessarily there. Like Kevin Gausman is having a great season. He's shoving against the Red Sox. Wasn't an all-star. But don't you worry. Garrett Cole will be there because those pinstripes blind you and they make you think
Cease, not an all-star.
Yeah. Perfect example. Dylan Cease is having an incredible season. It's so true. I mean, I think the people that went for the Red Sox are the people that should have gone for the Red Sox. There wasn't really anybody else deserving. Martinez, every single season that we've had an all-star game, because obviously in 2020 we didn't have an all-star game, but every season He has been an all-star for the Red Sox. Even if they trade him or he moves on after this, that contract was incredible. He's done absolutely everything that we could have ever really asked him to. He came here in 2018 to help win a World Series, and he did exactly that. So I have no problems with that contract, whether or not they move on from them. And then, of course, Devers should have gone to the All-Star games. Absolutely one of the best third basemen. And then Bogarts is having a pretty solid season. His power just doesn't exist anymore. Neither does JD's. But it's crazy. But yeah, I could see why it's a problem with people getting viewership, and they're trying to have a little more fun with it. Like, it was fun seeing Poppy interacting like mid-game with guys, or they're miking up guys too. Like, that's pretty fun just to see like what is the pitcher thinking like right now. Like, that was pretty cool. They had like Nestor Cortez and Alek Manoah mic'd up, so like that's always fun. Like, I like, because it doesn't matter anymore. But I don't know, maybe when it mattered, they like played harder and grittier, even though I always found it was stupid that like that was who determined the home field advantage for like the World Series. But it seemed like they almost played a little with a little more fire.
Mm-hmm. I just appreciate them still miking up Liam Hendricks after the bleep button being overworked last time. And then he was like really wholesome, and he wanted that ball back.
Oh yeah,
I just love you. I love everything about you, Liam. You're the best.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's fun in those things for sure. And then we have the Blue Jays are trying to host the 2027 All-Star Game. And by 2024, they expect to be finished with significant renovations, focusing on the lower bowl and the concourses, which is good because I think that stadium is trash. Yeah, that might be my least favorite stadium, and I've been to the Coliseum.
It definitely needs a facelift. But hey, did you see the Mariners released their kind of like all-star mock-up for everything?
Yes, that looked awesome. Like, the Pacific Northwest is just gorgeous. So if you can give me some cool Pacific Northwest draw-up the way they did, like, that's going to be an awesome All-Star game. I would love to go to that one. Like, if I get rich in the next, like, year or something, or I have free time and a bunch of money, I will waste it. So that's one of my favorite places to watch a ball game.
I'm trying so hard because we've been talking about going to Seattle for a while. So I'm really going to just try to say, hey, you know what we should do?
Yeah, what's a fun thing that you can do for mom? Like, maybe we go to Seattle. Like, it's a great city. It's an incredible stadium. So I would love to go to like the All-Star game and the home run derby there for sure. Yeah, no, it's right. Seattle is one of the most beautiful cities. It's absolutely so. Which is kind of, you go from LA, which is like kind of grimy, to like one of the most beautiful, clean, majestic cities. So it's going to be a little different pace. But of course, and I also was interesting because like this was in Hollywood, and I thought they were going to go more glitz and glamoury with being like the All-Star games in Hollywood. And they kind of didn't, which was kind of interesting, which I kind of liked because there's also like the idea of like, it's Hollywood. You're very far from Hollywood and Chavez Ravine. Just saying, pretty far away. But yeah, no, it'd be cool if they could get an All-Star game up in Toronto soon. And that stadium, don't like the stadium, but it is in such a cool spot in Toronto, and the views are incredible, like the CN Tower. It's just like when the roof was closed, like when we first went in, and I've been into closed stadiums before too, because I've been to Marlins Ballpark. I don't know, this just felt like claustrophobic as hell. Everything was like sterile. Like, I just didn't like the feel of that versus, like the feel in Mullins Ballpark. I didn't feel like that at all. So I was just like, oh, this is like a Toronto thing. Wasn't a huge fan of it.
No. Well, hopefully they make it look nice if they really are serious about that bid.
Yeah, and I do love that there's like a hotel in it. Like, I want to stay in that friggin' hotel. It's expensive. It's like, I've looked at it and I've been like, oh shit. Like, but what a cool experience that must be. So it's definitely, that would be on my bucket list for sure. Would be staying in that hotel, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, we should move on to injuries. This was actually not the first topic we had to discuss this week, even though there are quite a bit. Do you want to Do you want to talk about your boy?
Yeah, so Rafael Devers in Game 1
Yeah,
so Rafael Devers in Game 1 on Friday against the Blue Jays. Little hamstring pull, and on the 10-day as of now, we'll see. Hamstrings are they are scary, so we can see really what's gonna happen with that. It sucks because that's the best player on the Red Sox. Now they're pretty much throwing a AAA lineup with Xander Bogaerts out there. I mean, that's a lot too. I mean, Verdugo is still in there, so there's a couple of guys. There's like 2 or 3 major leaguers, and then the rest of them are, your AAA guys. But who the hell knows? Maybe they can all catch fire and prove everybody wrong. But most likely, as much as it pains me, I see my boys as being sellers because these injuries are very, very, very difficult to come back from. Like, because I went into the All-Star break saying, no, they're 2 games out. But that was before, it's like everything went to shit. So
before
now
everything went to the garbage.
Yeah, so now that is all happening, it's almost like they have to be sellers, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's an unfortunate one.
Oh, so bummer for the Yankees. Their best reliever, Michael King, will miss the rest of the season with a fractured elbow. He'd been added to the 60-day injured list right before the game on Saturday, but now they've kind of updated it to out for the rest of the season. And I mean, I guess bummer for them. Maybe
yeah, I mean,
we'll have my least favorite player blowing more games.
Yeah. The thing is with that, I never want to see anybody get injured, but it's nice when it's a team you hate. They were like, because like I had read that this could potentially be a whole Tommy John type situation for him too, and that sucks. That sucks for anybody, whether or not like you like the team or not that this person plays for. Like that sucks. And then Tyler Stevenson broke his right clavicle after being hit by a foul ball in Friday's game against the Cardinals. Timetable to be determined at this point. Thankfully, at least for him, surgery isn't required. But oh my God, just think about that had to hurt so much.
Ooh. I didn't even like getting tattoos up here, like
right there, let alone a baseball off of it, right?
Yikes! Oh man. Yeah, I hope he comes back, and like they said. Right now, surgery's not required. I hope it stays that way because that sucks for the Reds because he's
just think that's got to be brutal surgery too because you have to open up like no. So just let it heal. But also, it's like that's got to be so weird because like it's not like you can put this in a cast. It's like they're gonna have to like So that's a tricky one to come back from. So like you said, a blow to the Reds who had been playing better as of late.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it sucks when somebody goes down.
So the wonderful stud, Jazz Chisholm, I struggle with these names all the time. Anyway,
it's a name.
Yeah, he is out for 6 weeks with a stress fracture in his back.
I love when these like young guys just break their backs. It's a brutal sport. Like this is such a brutal sport on your body, and you're playing 162 games. But this is why these people need to retire by 40 because their bodies are just dead. Like Dustin Pedroia pretty much doesn't have a knee, and said if he continued to play baseball, he would have to have a full knee replacement before the age of like 40.
That's a bummer. Crazy. He's such like a stud right now too.
Oh, Chisholm's great. Yeah, and then Marlins rookie Max Meyer left Saturday's game with elbow discomfort. His second career start, he only faced 3 batters and threw 10 pitches before exiting because that happens and that sucks. Like that's
another big bummer.
Yeah, and the Marlins, man, the pitching they got too. How Alcantara didn't start the All-Star game. That's also another problem. I get it was LA, and I get it, it's Clayton Kershaw, but like really.
Yeah, he should have started.
Yeah, but I digress. We got trades we can chat about.
Yeah. So obviously everyone wants Shohei.
Of course.
Wouldn't you? He has no idea what the future holds, and the Angels are very adamant about how they don't want him going anywhere before that trade deadline. So I don't even think they're really entertaining ideas on trading Shohei, and I don't blame him when you have 2-star players that you try to build a team around. So
Yeah, but they're gonna have to really actually offer him a contract because
Yeah.
it will expire soon. And if that is your goal, lock him up, lock up Trout, and then understand that pitching is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what you need to do. But yeah, it's funny because people made the joke as like, oh, Aaron Judge could go there next year. They'll have 3 of the best players in baseball and still won't get 70 wins.
No.
Yeah, I know. It's like they're cursed in Anaheim for like crying out loud. It's like even if they tried to bring in like Syndergaard, and Syndergaard's been good, but like
Yeah.
Syndergaard could be on the trade block for them,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like I don't know. It's just like I don't know. I think when Artie Moreno took over, like from like the people, like Disney maybe cursed him. Disney was like, oh yeah, no, that used to be our team. Now like we're cursing you or something because
Or
like
maybe the new name, their goofy new name
I
that's
hate it.
75 words long. I think that
Ugh.
cursed them.
Yeah, also just trying to like market yourself Los Angeles. Go back to California. Cool, Los Angeles is a super marketable name, but what isn't marketable? The name of California, that's very marketable.
Yeah.
So go back to being the California Angels and shut up and play baseball because the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim is the stupidest name ever.
The
And
word.
you aren't even in Los Angeles County. So you're orange that you should be the Orange County Angels because that's literally the county that you play baseball in. But anyways, that'll never not bother me.
Oh, I know. Same.
Yeah. But the Orioles selected a 7-foot tall left-handed pitcher, Jared Beck from St. Leo University in the 13th round. And if he makes it, he will be the tallest person to ever play Major League Baseball. Holy shit.
I know.
7 feet.
I read that and I was like, there's no way he can be 7 foot tall.
And you're like, no, he is, right?
Why are you not playing basketball, bro?
Because he loves this game. But yeah, even if you're not good at basketball, I feel like you'd have to be good at basketball being 7 foot.
Stand there and
just get it in the paint, do some Shaquille O'Neal dips in. Like that's so funny. I love that.
So the Yankees are back to being serious contenders for Andrew Benintendi, the unvaccinated, overrated Royal.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about overrated. Whoo! The boy can hit you some singles. Please look deeper at numbers, people, or don't look deeper at numbers and sell off some of your farm system there, Cashman. And with the short porch, he's probably going to have more of a home run stroke because it's the freaking short porch in Wright, and he's a left-handed hitter. But this is the best he's ever played if you look at certain numbers, but it's not because like the OBP is crazy right now, which also just doesn't make sense to me. But he's got virtually absolutely no power. Like he hits a bunch of singles, so like that's gonna drive up your batting average, but you gotta look deeper at your batting average. But give up a bunch of prospects, give up some good ones, and then have him not play in Toronto. So,
yeah,
do it. Take
him, Yankees.
Yeah, enjoy him.
I like this comment, Holy Randy Johnson 2.0.
Oh yeah,
Jared Beck, man. Yeah.
Maybe, hopefully, for that kid's sake. Woo.
Yeah. I hope he's good.
Right?
Good for the O's, really. Oh man.
Oh yeah, and then the Mets did some piratey moves. They acquired catcher Michael Perez for catch and traded reliever Colin Holderman for Daniel Vogelbach, who is a DH. Interesting that they gave up potentially a good reliever for Daniel Vogelbach.
Like, yeah, but I understand this move because they're down a catcher right now. And they are kind of down that big. They do need a big power hitter.
You know who can catch? Christian Vazquez. Give us your prospects. But yeah, no, it does make sense. Like, and they want a little bit of power, and like Vogelbach can do that for sure. If they just get Juan Soto, I'll be so happy because it means he won't go to the Bronx. So yeah, for real. Somebody else get him, and then if it's not my team, but the Red Sox honestly kind of had the prospects to do it, but it's just a matter of like then you've depleted what you're building, but then you also have Juan Soto, so I don't know. It's so tough.
I don't know if the Yankees or Mets are truly going to go after them because I read somewhere that neither one of them are willing to give up their top 3 prospects for him.
Yeah, no, you like they'd have to give Volpe and Jason Dominguez gone.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way you are getting Juan Soto without giving up Volpe and Dominguez. Like, no, that is literally not happening. We're talking about like Mike Trout and then like Juan Soto. Like, it's so tough for me to say that Mike Trout's not the best because like this has consistently been the best player in the goddamn game. But we're talking about like a 1-2, like one of the two best in this game. So you're giving up so much. Like, you're giving up so much. Like, absolutely.
Please don't mind the thunderstorm happening outside.
Oh, is that what that was? Oh,
yes.
Jeez.
I just looked out the window and I was like, oh my gosh, it's loud. Also, the Mets and Astros are both pursuing Josh Bell, which makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Josh Bell's been great this year. Hopefully goes to the Mets because I hate the Astros. I hate that the Astros are still good. Like, it bothers me. They can get, like, that is how you know you've built a great, like, foundation. And then I love how people were saying, like, oh, this is James Click. I was like, no, this is Lunau. You can hate Lunau. Lunau was a goddamn savage. This is all Lunau. Because somebody's like, I wish that we got James Click and not Chaim Bloom. Like, that's what I say to you people. This isn't James Click. James Click didn't build 99% of this. James Click didn't sign Carlos Correa. And it was fine because they had the farm system and everything to just this is the team that like sucked, drafted well, and realized how not to suck. A lot of other teams have to start doing that, but they also did some cheating in there, but they're still really goddamn good. Like, Alvarez is still goddamn good. They literally gave up. They literally said bye-bye to George Springer and then made a World Series without him. They just said goodbye to Carlos Correa and could very well go back to the World Series without those guys. That is a dynamic franchise, and I hate it. But please, Josh Bell, just go to the Mets because I like the Mets.
Yes, please. I do love him. I would appreciate him on that team.
I'm over this Astro. Even though, like, this Astro dominance, they've only won once, and it was cheating. But they've still been to the World Series, like, 3 times and just didn't. And then have gone 5 consecutive ALCSs, I think. Like, that is dominance, whether or not you only have 1 cheating World Series in there, too. Because shit happens. But, you know, it's still crazy. Like, that's dominance, you know. But then the Giants signed Trevor Rosenthal to a 1-year deal worth $4.5 million. He's been placed on the injured list with a hamstring strain and is currently rehabbing in Arizona. So who knows if that he will help them at all this year. For his sake, I hope they do. But
no, who knows?
Like, that just sucks when you sign someone and they immediately have to go down.
Because
they got hurt. Like, you know.
Oh, well. Story of baseball. We have a bunch of like we have some more draft news. This one I thought was particularly just really funny. The Cubs drafted Mason McGuire, the son of Mark McGuire, in the 8th round. And if you know anything about the Cubs and the Cardinals, there's a history. There's a history
not
there.
Not fans.
There's, you know, the Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire power hitting back when I was a kid, which was the highlight of
saved baseball.
My childhood. Who cares if they were roided out?
Everybody was roided out then. Everybody. The player, like, it was almost even playing field because you had Roger Clemens roiding out and throwing a Barry Bonds who's roided out. So it's like pretty much probably like, you know, cancels each other out at that point.
Speaking of, today is Barry Bonds' 58th birthday, which made me feel so old because I grew up watching him.
Same. I remember going to AT&T, and he unfortunately wasn't in the game because that was around the time that his father was very ill. That was like, oh shit, I think I went to like AT&T ballpark in like 2002. Back when it was AT&T. I don't even know what the hell it is now. Like, all right, I don't know. Maybe it's AT&T now, and then when I went, it was like Pacific Bell. I don't know. That ballpark's had multiple name changes too, and I can't keep up with all of these. You know, it's crazy. But yeah, so other sons. The Orioles agreed to a record-breaking deal of $8.19 million with high school first-round overall pick Jackson Holliday, the son of Matt Holliday. I honestly tell you, I wasn't really privy to what was going on in this draft, mainly because the Red Sox, when they're down lower, the players are good. But like last year, I really paid attention to the draft because like they had the 4th overall pick and ended up getting, you know, Marcelo Meyer. So I pay more attention when it's like, so the Red Sox keep sucking, man. Can't wait to get another really great pick up there. So I wasn't really privy to what was going on, so I didn't realize Matt Holliday's son was playing baseball, or like he was that good to go 1-1.
Yeah, he's good. He actually, I think, passed JT Realmuto's record in something. I think it was like on base percent. I don't know. It was something, but he had like passed JT Realmuto, and I was like, damn, this kid's good. Takes after his dad, clearly. But yeah, good for him. Get that money.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you don't have to worry about how they treat you in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, just
I didn't follow much of the draft, just kind of the top stories. But
yeah, and like lots of all the sons, like Drew Jones. I wonder who he could be the son of. No, so, I mean, that was like going. I think some people thought he was maybe going to go 1-1, but it wasn't clearly a signability thing because they gave all the money to Jackson Holiday. The Orioles just clearly wanted Jackson Holiday more.
Yeah.
You know, that's who they wanted, because sometimes, like last year, everybody thought that Marcelo Meyer was going to go 1-1, but that the Pirates didn't necessarily want to give him what he wanted money-wise, so he dropped down to 4.
Yeah.
You know, but
Drew Jones got a lot of money too. He was 8.18 million.
Yeah.
So just, I mean, Jackson Holiday just barely eclipsed them.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Oh, damn. Well, the money. But then it's so sad that like how the money drops off after that too, because then sometimes some guys were signing for like $1,000. That should almost be illegal.
Yeah.
Like $1,000, like rent costs $1,000. Like you can't do anything with $1,000. You're like, cool. I'd say
$1,000.
Right? I'd say blow that money at that point. Don't even like, cause what can you do? Just go have fun and spend a great night out, get all the drinks, and blow that $1,000 signing bonus, because that's putrid. And there should be like an actual level of like livable money when you draft it into Major League Baseball for the amount of money that they make. But
yeah,
it's another issue for another day.
Yes, that's a big issue for another day. I almost wore my unionized minor shirt.
Oh, that would have been great. That would have been great.
So on to some crazy, good, wild moments from the Astros ended the Mariners' winning streak at 14 games on Friday. Which, bummer, because I wanted the Mariners to just have this crazy run.
Yeah, it's crazy how great like I said, I love the city of Seattle. I love if this team could actually get into the playoffs for the first time in like 20 years, I think it's been.
Forever.
Yeah, so that's great that they're actually playing well. And then the Marlins ended their 37-inning scoreless streak in a win 8-1 over the Pirates on Friday. The 37-inning drought tied the franchise record set in 2013. Wow, that's actually super impressive. Like Marlins really know how to pitch too. It's a kind of a damn shame that they're not better than what they are. But I said, like, we've talked about Kim Nang and all that, so like we believe in what she's doing down there, and they could start to actually be pretty good in the future. You know, they've got a great baseball mind down there running them.
I hope they do.
And Jeter's away from them, so that's actually just for me. I can actually be excited. But even though Jeter did understand what did hire Kim Nang and understood what she was when she was with the Yankees, so was able to give her the opportunity. So I'm thankful for that, even though Derek Jeter.
Amazing pitching, very old man Justin Verlander became the Major League's first 13-game winner on Saturday. He struck out 9 in that game too. He is 39 years old.
How in the hell? And I hate that he's like an Astro too, because it's like, God, man, that was a friggin' trade. Luna, not James Click. Luna, that was a hell of a friggin' trade, because I'm not even sure that anybody that the Tigers got back is anything. But then again, at the same time, were you going to think that Justin Verlander was going to just suddenly be like vintage prime? This is even better than prime Justin Verlander. This is one of the best seasons that he's had in his career, and he's 39 friggin' years old off Tommy John. Make it make sense. What was his rehab like? Did everybody go do his exact rehabness? Maybe you should all just be hanging out with 29-year-olds. Maybe that's what we're all talking about. Marry that girl way younger than you, because maybe you will just be like a 29-year-old at 39.
Just date hot models.
That's way out of your league because you're one of the best pitchers in baseball. But yeah, this is a fact. But like,
He's not even bad looking, so I wouldn't even say way out of his
I
league,
think it's
but
way out of his league.
yeah, I mean, yes,
I
but
just look at it, if they were if they weren't in this industry world and she's at one end of the bar and he's at
oh,
the
yeah.
other, it's like
There's no way. There's
I'm
no
leaving
way.
type of a situation. But it's not like he's completely unfortunate looking, but
No.
still. They were talking about like the swimsuit cover model, like, and Justin Berlander,
She's
you know.
just way too pretty, but
Yeah.
man, like,
Yeah.
and
Hate it.
it's funny too because Johnny Cueto is one of the like aces right now in the White Sox. It's like Johnny Cueto and Dylan Cease right now. Cueto is having an insane season. He is like back to his prime,
Prime too.
which
Crazy,
is
huh?
wild to me. I
Yeah, maybe
love
they
it.
do
I'm
just
happy.
these men aging with like fine like wine, like, you know, you're just showing that like, oh, you think we're like 37, 38, 39 and we can't do this anymore? Well, let me show you what we can do. So,
Joke's on you, buddy.
yeah, I'm all for this. I'm all for the Scherzers and the Verlanders and the Cuetos of the world just sort of showing that like I can still pitch. Like I can still pitch. But Verlander's still having a fastball at 39 is
Yeah.
wild to me too. And
Yeah.
like Scherzer still has a great fastball at 39 too. That's just crazy.
Verlander, in the last inning he pitched on that game, he was still throwing at 99.
Maybe like truly he's got a whole new elbow now and he's going to be pitching into like he's going to be like the Tom Brady. At this point, I would be like I'm not ending this. I'm seeing until I start to actually suck. But it is still crazy though because there was a lull in his career where he just wasn't that great.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he found something that it's like absolutely wild to me. Absolutely wild. Crazy. But then we have Kyle Wright won the NL's best 12th game, the Braves victory against the Angels on Saturday night. Kyle Wright's been great versus like somebody like Ian Anderson has been not great for the Braves, which is crazy because he was great last year, helped them get to a World Series. I think we're shocked that we're getting a few Nolan Ryan seasons from our time from a few pitchers. Yeah, it's crazy. And they're old. Like these old guys are doing it. Like,
let's see how old Johnny Cueto actually is. Give me 1 second.
I mean, sometimes like I get flipped like with the idea of like, you know, you think that Clayton Kershaw's older, and I think Clayton Kershaw's at most 34. So
Yeah.
like, you
He
know.
is 36. He will be
He is
37
older.
in February, Johnny Cueto.
All right.
So I love it.
Yeah.
And he went deep. Yes, like he played yesterday. He went into 7th inning.
That's great. Like, love that. Love that. Love that these old guys are doing their thing. I do love it. And then we've got Scott Boras. We did talk about how, like, you know, they didn't charter a flight. Not only that, he arrived commercially. I'm sure it was first class. Let's be real. But anyways, he wasn't sitting in the middle seat on like, you know, JetBlue. But he did arrive about 1:30 a.m. Los Angeles time and then won the home run derby. But that's just, it's despicable.
He
Like,
even
that's
had a 2-hour delay.
Yeah.
Like in between.
Despicable. And like, you know, people will get on the like Red Sox fans will be like, John Henry shit. John Henry doesn't care. You know what John Henry did? He chartered a flight for his 3 All-Stars.
Yeah.
And he's never not done that. I'm pretty sure he chartered a flight the year that Brock Holt was the only goddamn All-Star for the Red Sox. Yeah. Like, so yeah, that's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
I like this comparison. I keep seeing like Bryce Harper won the home run derby and then immediately left the Nationals. So like, Juan, it's your time.
It is. You won.
Go baby.
GTFO.
Go.
Get out. Especially if they're treating you like absolute shit. Yeah, you leave. And then you could talk about your boy Degrom.
Yes. He it seems like Jacob Degrom just has 1 rehab start left. I really like this approach that they're doing. They are giving him a lot of time in rehab because he is the best pitcher in baseball. I don't care. He's the best.
Absolutely.
And so I appreciate that the Mets are giving him a bit more time with this rehab stint and not just rushing it because we saw what happened with Chris Sale. Yeah. So bravo to the Mets organization for doing this. He could be back July 31st in Miami, or he could be there for the 3-game series in Washington. That's August 1st through 3rd. So he could be back anytime now, but again, like awesome that they are giving him this time. He's doing a lot of simulation games too, which is great. So I just hope
Yeah.
being back and
Think
just
it's
mowing hitters
Oh,
again.
absolutely. I think it is a little easier to be this like take your time when you're in the position that the New York Mets are
Oh,
in
yeah.
versus like the Red Sox were just begging for Sale to come back, believing that this was going to be somebody that could help boost them into the postseason, and then shit happens. But yeah, man, if I'm the New York Mets too and I'm playing out of my mind, take your damn time.
Yeah.
Take your
Good. We
time.
love you.
Yeah.
I'll get this one and let you finish
Oh
this
yeah.
one out.
Okay.
So Bummer Wander Franco had 6,500 or 65 $6,500,000 worth of jewelry stolen from his car in Jacksonville, Florida, while he was on a minor league rehab assignment in late June. I guess the police caught somebody and he had like some Rolexes and chains stolen, but like, damn, that kind of sucks though.
Yeah, but at the same time, why do we have that amount of money worth of jewelry in our car in
Yes.
Jacksonville, Florida?
And like Jacksonville in a minor league ballpark.
Yeah, if I'm like looking into like a nice car and I'm like, "Ooh, shit, look at all." Like why? Why do you have that much worth of jewelry on you? I don't think anybody should have anything stolen from anybody, but like still, it's like, "Oh, okay, that's a little weird." Um
Yeah.
Yeah. And then somebody say, yeah, there is good news. No longer will we have to pay for David Price. But in the end, a part of me doesn't even really give a shit because you don't win the 2018 World Series without David Price. It's a lot of money is coming off the books for the Red Sox, and that's how we can go into our last topic. The Red Sox, are you okay? Question mark. No, they are extremely injured. That most of Twitter wants to blame on Chaim Bloom. And like our friend of the show and Ed Hand, a good guy that we love, that said that like he was so impressed that Chaim Bloom learned how to throw a major league fastball just so he could throw at Trevor Story and make sure that he got hit. Or that how he was disguised himself as Aaron Hicks and made sure to hit off that 106 off the bat and just absolutely nail him. So the Red Sox, not okay right now, extremely injured. I am part of the Bluminati. I believe what that's the the first time I heard that, I was like, that is genius, and I'm loving it, and I'm taking it, and I'm holding on to it. But yes, he definitely messed up with the bullpen. The bullpen's terrible, and he should have figured out a lot of things. You could say he messed up at first base, but I don't really blame him on that because Bobby Dahlbeck and the deep fake of being as good as he was at the end of 2021 would have made my eyes go and think, oh my God, I have somebody this good. I have like Polar Bear Light at first base for me. Like, like as I kill Chris.
Polar Bear Light. Oh
like really, I at a steal, and then thinking that like Tristan Casas could come up in an emergency and Casas gets hurt. And I can't even fault him for right field either. If you have the Red Sox lineup producing the way it is supposed to be on paper when healthy, you can roll with Jackie Bradley Jr. being terrible hitter for the great amount of defense that he gives you. Just a lot of crap has happened, and I fault him for really the pitching. Really, that's the only thing I can really fault Chaim Bloom for. I can't really fault him for anything else. Obviously, can't fault him for the injuries. So I think the Red Sox are potentially as shitty as it seems. And a week and a half ago, I never would have said they were going to be sellers. But if your name's not Xander Bogaerts and your name's not Rafael Devers, have fun on another team and help me build up this farm system to be a juggernaut. So that's how I feel about the Red Sox. And yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm in the boat with the White Sox. Better be sellers at this trade deadline because it's just getting to the point where I'm so frustrated and people aren't producing.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Friday night and they lost by 6. I was like, this is embarrassing. This is so stupid.
Yeah, at least, and what sucks even more for you is like people, because the Red Sox did so well in 2021, it kind of put Pan's perspectives in a different way too. I think really, the Bloom way is great. Sorry, I'm just saying it's great. I'm just saying the Bloom way is the Dodger way. He's doing exactly what Friedman's doing, and the people that don't want a team to be run like the Tampa Bay Rays just insanely infuriates me. Tampa Bay can run it the way they can and produce a goddamn winner. And I don't want to hear this, they won a World Series. The Houston Astros are a goddamn dynamo. So are the Los Angeles Angels, and I mean Los Angeles Dodgers. So are they. And you know what? They only have one World Series each to show for their dominance. And you tell you what, I want my organization run like the way those organizations are run. Yeah, I want that. Mm-hmm. So sorry. Then this is the way it will happen. You just have to be patient. If you want the Dombrowski way, it will literally blow your farm system up and you'll win once. This is about sustainable winning. This is about getting to the ALCS and the World Series year in, year out. That is the Bloom way. Get on board, because I'm going to be collecting your tears in this jar right here when we start being good. But what sucks about the White Sox is, though, that like you're supposed to be really good on paper. Yeah. I looked at the Red Sox and said, yeah, they could win a wild card. Like that's how I felt going into it. Like the White Sox, everybody was like division. So it's crazy how underperforming they are. And I think a lot of it has to do, you've talked about it multiple times, with Tony La Russa and just not knowing how to, manage baseball anymore.
Yeah, this whole Guardians series, I'm like, come on, that Josh Naylor kills us. Jose Ramirez kills us. Like, why are we pitching to some of these players in the first place?
Yeah.
Why? And then, he either throws his starters out to die through 6 innings, or he brings in relief pitchers that should not be in. Like, yeah. I'm sorry, but yesterday he put in Jose Ruiz and he immediately blew it, and Guardians scored 3 runs.
Yeah.
And I was like, what was he doing in there? Why wasn't Ronaldo Lopez in there instead? Why wasn't Joe Kelly in there instead? Like,
I know, you got him back. Use him.
We have this huge bullpen, and you're putting Jose Ruiz in to face the heart of the Guardians' batting order. Yeah. Make it make sense, Tony. Come on. He's just And we don't have the farm system anymore to really do anything with. So it does suck watching La Russa die on stage. He was once a Bulldog, one of the great. Yeah, he was forever ago.
Yeah.
But in my opinion,
you're old, dude. Why do you want the stress of this, too? Is my real question. I'd be like, bye. Like what he was doing with the Red Sox, just chilling with Dave Dombrowski. Like, why would you not want that job anyway? And you're like, no, I want to go back into the shitstorm of managing a team. It makes no sense.
And I've said it before. I really think the only reason the Cardinals went as far as they did with him was because they were doing it to spite him. Because I've heard so many, kind of clubhouse truths that like they hated him.
They may have, yeah. And they were just like, you know what? We're going to win. I love that. I love the winning despite people.
I wish the White Sox would start winning to spite him.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be nice. I still think there's, you have injuries too, but I still think there's more hope for the White Sox to turn things around than there is for the Red Sox. So, but who knows? We're going to both be sellers. Let's beef off our systems. All for that. Just as long as Rafael Devers stays in a Red Sox uniform, and even Xander Bogaerts. But if Xander Bogaerts doesn't, go and get me Trey Turner.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be sad.
I'm now on you better keep you on Moncada because he's on a hot streak now. So first I was like, trade him. I don't care.
It's like trade everybody.
No,
he gets so mad. I get it.
Keep him.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so that is this week. Thank you for those that listen right now with us. Thank you for interacting with us. For the people that are going to listen to us in the future, thank you.
Thank you again to the person that called me a queen. Please show yourself.
Yes, absolutely. We will accept all of that. So thank you guys, and we will